Welcome to the 23rd episode of ML Backstage. My name is Mars Luna.
I'm Ethan.
And we're introducing this podcast straight from the sixth dimension. This is a music commentary podcast hosted by Joshua Luna, and Holokahiki Toves is back once again. For this episode, let's play a game, shall we? What will you do for love? It's about to be a fun episode, and the boys got a fun template today. It's Cosmic Casanova approved. Back to planet Earth we go!
What's going on, y'all? Welcome to episode 23 of the ML Backstage podcast. This is the Jordan episode of the ML Backstage podcast. I am Joshua Luna, and I got Holokahiki Toves with me today. Glad to see him back for 2 consecutive episodes. How's it going, bro?
It's going really well, and I think this is my long standing of being on the podcast. So I'm grateful to be coming back in and, sharing my thoughts about the new theme of this podcast. But I would say it's been, very well here on my end. Job wise is going good. Hobbies are going good. What I do on my free time is going good. So it's actually everything is about falling into place and finally getting settled here. So
yes, sir.
Now I can kind of figure out what I want to do now. So right now it's more about adventuring out and exploring new experiences. But it's always happy to be here, Luna.
Yes, sir. Getting more acclimated to that Georgia life.
Oh, yes, sir.
Yes, you. So Kainalu Kamai was supposed to be on this episode, but he is at the beach with his classmates, stuck in Hawaii. You know what I mean? Because he had military school this past, I don't know, how is it, like 2 weeks or so? I'm trying to remember now, like about 2 weeks. And he's doing just fine. He's doing not like he always says, there's not a whole lot going on with him, but he's missing out on this episode because he's at the beach, but he's doing fine. As for me, I would say this month has been pretty strange. And I don't say that in a really good or bad way, but it's been objectively strange. Just, seeing things happen, around me, things changing really fast. And, I just had a birthday last week, and I'll let y'all guess how old I am. Put it in the comment section or whatever, how old you think I am. But, I had a birthday, another year older, new mercies, new life. And, I feel like, just emotionally, I'm kind of all over the place. I'm not going to lie, but it's just a part of life. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's fine. It's always good to be here. A lot of new Mars Luna music coming up that I'm preparing for, and a lot of work stuff that I'm preparing for in the next month and the next coming months, actually. So there's a lot to look forward to, and grateful to just be productive and busy, so yeah, this episode, episode 23, is a very special episode format wise. So if you're new to this podcast, this podcast is essentially a time capsule for my musical alter ego character called Mars Luna, the Cosmic Prince from the sixth dimension. You can check out Mars Luna on Spotify and Apple Music. This is basically a podcast for me to kind of like, take a look at, what my thought processes were, what I was thinking during this single release, this album release. and just, it's just a good memory bank for me. And I can look back at this like years and years from now, and and years from now, and be like, oh, this is what happened. But normally the templates for the episodes are, we go over the song or the album or project, whatever, and then we answer like a general philosophical or fun question at the very end. But this podcast episode is going to be a little different today, because this episode is basically, a bunch of questions in a game show format, and it is centered around an unreleased song by Mars Luna called "Do for Love" that's about to come out this summer. And February is always going to be Cosmic Casanova season for Mars Luna every single time. And I thought, why not do a fun thing to kind of, shake things up a little bit. So
Here we go.
I was gonna say, this will be. I'm very interested to see, Holo, what your answers are for these questions, because
dude,
because both of us are bachelors, and with varying degrees of like whether of our singleness, I suppose, and and these are kind of conversations that we talk about kind of regularly off mic, right? So I'm excited to kind of document this on on the pod and see how it goes. So I want to give a quick shout out to this website called datinglovetoknow.com, and the topic is about 77 exciting dating game questions. So I guess the name of this game show, with no prize involved whatsoever, is called "What Will You Do for Love?" That's the main question that we're basically asking ourselves here. So I'm gonna link the actual Dating Love to Know website in the show notes below, and y'all can check those questions out. But here we go. So
here we go.
So Holokahiki Toves. Here we go.
Oh dang, man. Where's Nalu?
I'm gonna ask you the questions, and I'm gonna answer the questions after you. So you're gonna go first every single time.
Okay, I'm not holding back. This is gonna be for the books.
Here we go. Ladies, whoever's listening, pay attention to this man's answer. So, Holokahiki Toves. Question number 1. What are you looking for in a partner?
Okay, so I actually jotted down.
Oh, you're more prepared than I am. This man's taking notes.
So I took a couple notes, and it was actually in my notes for a very long time.
Mm-hmm.
So what I'm looking for in a partner is consistency, communication, inclusive, and reciprocation. If any of these aren't there, something is wrong.
There we go.
Strong sense of self, know how they want to use their time, the people they want in their life, and how to make decisions that will help reach their goal.
Dang.
Individuality, grace, ambitious, kind, and result oriented. I know it's a bit of a list here, but like what I said, I'm not holding anything back,
you're not
man.
playing around.
I'm not playing around. Like,
no.
Just to like bring it tie everything all together, I am actually looking for a partner who's kind of like a reflection of myself in a certain way. And And yeah, this is gonna be
No, I
my
like it.
answer. I
I
lock
like
it
it.
in. Final answer.
I like that. I like that. No, that was like a whole list. That was solid. I got nothing else to add to that.
Yeah, at
I,
least it's not like a CBS list, you know, for some people.
so to all the listeners and watchers out there, the CVS list refers to Kainalu's quote unquote CVS receipt. And if you've been to CVS, you know those receipts are mad long for no reason, but it's just a bunch of coupons, and and it's just Nalu's. I would say Nalu's qualifications are subjectively like a CVS list, where it's just a list of a bunch of superficial things that don't really matter and a bunch of coupons on the bottom. No, I'm just playing, but I think, okay, that's how you can tell that this man is looking, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh no, you're gonna flip that on me now.
But I would say, I guess for me, I would say the things I look for in a partner. I think the main thing that I don't say, like, I wouldn't say I have a whole list of attributes, but I would say, like, the main thing that comes down to is character for me. Like, what does the content of their character look like? Are they I guess it's kind of vague, but like, I'm not the type of person that's like easily impressed by a lot of things. I'm not impressionable. And I'm not really like I'm the type of person that's like, I got to get to know someone before I find out whether I'm in love with them or not. I end up being inquisitive before I realize whether I like them or not. The content of the character to me is number one. And what does that look like? It's kind of, are they a kind person? Are they, how does like what is their general attitude? How do they respond in, how to respond when things go well and when things go south? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You know, fate, like, whether they're a believer or not, because the faith got to be aligned for me. It's just like, because it serves as a good foundation, you know. Also, I guess, and look, if they're a creative person too, it's always a nice touch. You know what I mean? It's always like a good cherry on top. But I think, knowing myself, I would say, because I am more so a melancholic person, I don't necessarily see the bright side of things all the time. I'm as realistic as possible. I would say, like, I would ideally try to look for someone who is the embodiment of joy, and, just who is just kind of like a ray of sunshine. You know what I'm saying? If that makes any sense. Because
Well, I know what you're saying.
I bring a lot of rain. I bring a lot of rain. So, that's kind of, it's not as specific as Holo's answer. And I think my answers are a little more general.
Mm-hmm.
But it all depends on like the content of their character looks like. And personality and character are completely different things. Because, people say, like, people look for like a certain personality in, a person, but a person's personality changes, with the circumstances. The character is what remains the same when things go well and when things don't go well. So I just thought I'd add that in there. But yeah. Next question. Holokahiki Toves, what do you value in a relationship?
What do I value in a relationship? So when I read this question here, and when I hear this question, I always refer back to relationships between, my family and my friends.
Mm-hmm.
That kind of gives me a whole foundation of what I value with like a relationship, a personal relationship with a partner. And I would say what I value the most, and this is just coming from myself and my singleness, is
Mm-hmm.
I would like to value emotional intelligence, knowing that
Banger.
you can read your emotions and not act upon it based on what you're feeling,
Mm-hmm.
and kind of like overseeing the situation around you and adjust it. And just sometimes you just have to feel it, sometimes you don't necessarily need to act upon it, just to be aware of what you're feeling and kind of translating that into, okay, should I be feeling this way because of this person who's saying this type of words around me, or this type of action that's affecting myself. Basically I'm saying is just knowing your emotions and knowing how you carry them throughout your life and throughout
Mm-hmm.
your day, and just be able to kind of read upon it, and not to just, oh, I'm angry, I'm frustrated, so I'm just going to be frustrated,
Mm-hmm.
instead of like, oh, why am I so angry, why is this person saying this, kind of turning me off, why do I feel this way? And I feel like nowadays everybody is always jumping into conclusions to a
Mm-hmm.
point where they see something online or they feel a certain way, and then right there you just act upon it. You just, whatever you feel, you project that out into your life instead of
Instant reactions.
instant reactions. Everybody is getting to that point where I feel this way, I'm going to be this way,
Mm-hmm.
instead of, why do I feel this way? Why
Yeah.
am I being this type of person? If I do feel this way and I act upon it, how is this going to affect myself and the people around you? So just being very smart about how you read your emotions. And I feel like this is to a point where this is kind of like what people are going into now, because it's not necessarily being talked about, but a lot of
Mm-hmm.
people are looking for it, because it's not too much people possess that type of trait.
Mm-hmm.
So
Right.
I think, yeah, moving forward, emotion intelligence, I feel that's what I'll value the most in a relationship, and I feel that's important for myself and my partner.
Mm-hmm. That's fire. That's fire.
Man.
And like, so it, at least like self-control and composure, and like,
Yes.
like you said, like how how it also helps with like how you and your partner deal with conflict, right?
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like that, those are also important in characteristics and emotional intelligence, how you, like how you said, like how you respond in those situations. It kind of brings back to what I said earlier about character, right?
Mm.
Like what does your character look like? How are you going to respond when things go well, and how things when things go sideways too, I love that answer. That was fire. I think what I value in a relationship is, I mean, there are a lot of things that I value in a relationship. I don't know if I can really narrow things down to just one thing. You know, I I value honesty, I value transparency, you know what I'm saying? I would also add emotional intelligence in there, like you said.
Mm.
I will also say, you know, like you also mentioned, communication and, learning how to communicate, in a way that, your partner can understand and vice versa, right? Because those things are essential. You can't really view your partner from your lens only. It just means that you're not willing to understand, the other person, right? So, understanding it, being understanding is another one. And just like learning to, I guess adaptation too is another one, because, when you meet your partner, right, they're gonna change over time, and you will also change over time, right? So how you adapt to your partner and how well your partner is going to adapt to you and your changes and the things that you're going through, I think just how well you and your partner can navigate through life seasons together is probably the thing I value the most. Because if you love someone for who they are in the beginning, you got to commit to love them as y'all go through different different circumstances and different life events together. So adaptation to life seasons is probably what I value the most.
Another banger.
Yeah.
Joshua Luna.
Oh,
Mars
man.
Luna.
Oh my gosh. More from two single dudes over here. But I digress. Question number 3. What do you love / hate about dating?
Dang. I'm not the person to go off on the negative part, but I'll start with the hate. I gotta say, it's social media, man. It burned dating so hard. I gotta say, like, with social media being there right besides dating, everyone has a high expectation of who their partner should be, who their partner should look like, what clothes they should be wearing, what job they should be wearing, should be having, not what job they should be having. And it's just
I got you.
It's crazy how that affects dating all by itself. For example, I do have family members who are trying to do online dating, and they get to that point where they match with somebody, but then they exchange Instagrams, they exchange Snapchat, they get each other's number, and then this is when social media plays a part in it. They start to look at each other's Instagrams, and you kind of get like a little peek behind the lens into their life, and then that's when the other person or said family member starts to build this imaginary world in your head and expectations, and then you start to make decisions upon yourself, being like, oh, what happens if he's not like a good person, or oh, if he's this type of person, or man, he looks like he's taller than me, or something with the height. But you start to figure out, like, you start to kind of check off boxes in your head, and you didn't even meet the person yet. Like, that just breaks my heart. Like, you're setting yourself up for failure, and you haven't even met the person yet. So that's what I dislike about dating, is the social media aspect about it. This just burns dating so hard. What I love about dating, yeah, well, I haven't like dated before, that's
Right.
how it goes. But
But
I'll
I mean
say,
that's going to change, but I digress.
oh gosh, this guy, I don't know. He has more information than I know, man. I don't know what he's talking about.
I'm just
But
playing.
shoot, like
I'm just playing.
I think I think what I'll enjoy the most is actually put it in my card and saying my name is Holokahiki. I am dating right now. But
And
I don't know,
ain't nothing wrong with that.
like just to have that, I don't know, that feeling that I haven't had in the longest time of having like butterflies in your stomach. Like I don't even know that feeling anymore.
Right.
It's
Right.
crazy. And
I don't think either of us have.
And I talked to Luna about this, and I got to a point where I'm like comfortable with eye contact, in parentheses, prolonged eye contact,
right,
to someone who's like very attractive. And that wouldn't even happen like a year ago or even 2 years ago. So I know something's changing, like something in the atmosphere is actually kind of getting me into that season, I would say, where like little stuff that you kind of like entice or want to like attract another partner. And you know, you have men have their ways, women have their ways. And I think I'm getting comfortable in being in that zone, being like, hey, I see you over there.
Right.
I see you. And kind of like, doing that small talk. I'm
yeah.
getting into that comfort in doing that even more when I do see someone attractive. I'm not going to be doing that to everyone.
Right.
Because that
would be weird.
Yeah, that would be weird, right? You're like, who's this player, walking around? But yeah, just getting comfortable in doing that to people, that kind of catch my eye. And kind of like just test myself, kind of pushing the boundaries a little bit, because that is something I'm not used to. And Scott, Luna, and Nalu, they would all agree, like there's something that we're not used to. But when we do see somebody special through our eyes, you kind of want to put the extra effort. And that's what I love about dating, is actually that part where you're trying to entice the person, trying to attract them, I would say, and then after that, it's either going to be rocket science or another track from Mars Luna's,
or rocket science, or these damn feelings real quick,
or these or
how can I live without you real quick.
Right? You be playing that song, Hey Alexa. Man.
But I liked it.
Yeah, I'm kind of getting loose now. Like I'm getting loose.
I mean, like,
let's go.
I mean, I think for me, because I haven't been on a date in like probably 6.5 years. It's been a really long time.
I'm with you, bro.
So I think I didn't even consider like the social media aspect of it, but I do see a lot of like TikToks and stuff, like dating TikToks, that kind of, I guess maybe because TikTok knows I'm single.
Oh, hey, it's all good. It's all good.
But I mean, like it's kind of like you were talking about, like expectations, right? I think the things I hate about dating is probably more so just the pressure of meeting someone else's expectations, especially if you may be infatuated with the other person, right? Fortunately enough, that doesn't happen. The infatuation process doesn't happen to me, so that's kind of irrelevant. But I think that may have been something that happened in the past. I think that would probably be the biggest thing that I don't like about dating, or that I hate about it. It's just the weight of unmet expectation, potentially unmet expectations. And like, I guess, like, even because even like the online dating stuff, it's kind of like, now that I think about it, now that you've kind of described it a little more, it feels more like the inverse of what an actual, you know what I'm saying? Like what actual
Right.
real world dating looks like. And I think it's kind of backwards. But you know, hey, I know homies who found their you know, their loved ones or like their wives and fiancés through, you know, online dating. So I'm not going to slam that completely, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I think I just rather do it. I just rather meet people in person and see if I like them there, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I think But I think the thing that I love about it is just genuinely getting to know someone. You know, I think that getting to know someone without the expectation, you know, and going in saying like, hey, if this works out, you know, great, it's a win, right? If not, then that's okay, because I actually put myself out there, you know,
Right.
and like I don't need to worry about meeting this person's expectations. If they're seeing other people, then I can't control that, right? I can't, you know what I'm saying? Like um I can't control other people's feelings. If they're feeling feeling a certain type of way about someone else, then I'm not really going to do much about it. I'm not going to really put much of a fight, only because it's like, I mean, it's just dating. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
We're just getting to know each other, and like I would rather know for sure if, you know, if I'm someone that they want to spend time with and I want to spend time with them, you know. And a lot of the things that I love and hate about dating revolve around expectations. But maybe one of these days I'll know what that feels like again. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But I'll I think we have time for one more question before we go into commercial break. What question number? What number are we on? 4. Question number 4. What do you wish others knew about your heart or the way you think?
Jeez. Dang, man. This one you can actually say a lot about this question.
Mm. Mm. Because this question is basically, the way I interpreted this question is like, what other things that you want people to know about you, you know what I'm saying, like before things get super deep, is how I interpreted this question.
Mm-hmm.
Because I do have an answer for this.
Right. I think I would say like, you know, I'm I don't like I'm having this word in my head. It's loyalty. Keeps
There
popping
you
in my
go.
head whenever
There
I
you go.
reread this question.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's what people don't know about, is that I can be flat out loyal.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm not gonna be the one to be jumping around like that. Like,
No.
shoot, like, how old am I? Like 29 years old, you know?
Right.
Been single for like that long time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're not playing around, man. Like, for real, like, when I do find that partner is there for a reason. Like,
Yep.
there's one reason why I chose you, and
Mm-hmm.
instead of all these other attractive, partners.
Yep.
I feel like a lot of people wouldn't notice that differently, being the person who I am, being very like friendly, outgoing, and just always, I don't know, like always smiling for some reason. Like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I can, have a good time, always smiling, happy about life and all that. But I'm not the one to go around and be talking to all these different people and not be loyal to that one person.
Right.
And I think that's what a lot of people don't know about me necessarily, that I have a mindset of, have one life, all I need is one partner to fulfill that shared life with someone.
Yep.
And that's what people don't realize from my
Perspective or vantage point.
Or vantage point, is that how loyal I can be to one person and not worry about all this other chatter or attention seeking. I'm not like bashing everybody,
Right, right.
but people around me trying to get my attention. Like, you got my attention. You're the one who got my attention. You know, I'm gonna stick it with you. Yeah, it's just us two. It's just us two. I'm not gonna be jumping around. So I would say like loyalty, honestly.
Ride or die.
Ride or die.
Ride or die, you know. I think loyalty is a really good one because, you know, because I'm also the same way as far as like even growing up, like I never really had a whole lot of friends, but the friends that I do have, I keep them for a very long time. You know what I mean? So it's like you keep loyalty kind of involves like keeping a small circle anyway, and it's like, you know, the way, you know, you approach your friendships also is also kind of the same approach that you have for, you know, your significant other, you know, that kind of thing. So I like that. I like that a lot. I think for me with this question, what do I wish others knew about my heart or the way I think? I think it's honestly how insightful I can be and how caring I am. I think it's or how thoughtful I am. Sorry. I think because I think a lot, and I care about like the other person's well-being a lot and making sure, you know, everything's good between the two of us. I think like I think it would just revolve around those three things, like how insightful I am, um how thoughtful I am, how caring I can be. Um because like what you said, you know, if once it's us, it's us. You know what I'm saying? Like the loyalty aspect that you mentioned earlier, you know, I think that's, to me, like there could be a lot of things that I can unpack with this particular question, but for me it boils down to those three things. It's not really like it's not really a super in-depth thing for me because like, and also because I don't open up very easily. Like I think that's a big thing. Like people don't know that I am thoughtful, that I am caring, that I am insightful because I don't open myself up to many people. I'm very much like an intuition driven person as far as like I can kind of this goes I don't want this to sound like mystical or whatever, but like I already can feel the vibe before I even talk to a certain person because I know I observe a lot of things. I see a lot of things. I kind of just sit back, peep game and see what's good, right? And like the people who I can gravitate towards will know how thoughtful, caring, insightful how I am. You know what I'm saying? So I think I think people don't know. I think people don't know those things about, you know, the way I think or my heart is because I don't open up very easily. And that's actually an answer to another question that we'll get to later on, that, you know, I'll dive into a little more. Question number 6. Do you tend to make decisions based on logic or your emotions? Holokahiki Toves.
Oh, yo, like we have to pick either one, logic or emotions.
Or like what do you tend to do when you make decisions normally? You don't have to pick one, but it's just more so because you need both.
Yeah,
You need both. It's just what are your tendencies?
I gotta say, I kind of bounce between both logic and my emotions. Because if I was to make decisions on my emotions, it's kind of like in the benefit of my own self. And if I was to do it through logic, it's just, basically what is the right decision to make for the situation. So I kind of bounce between the both of them, but I do start, I know this. I do start my decision making with logic, and then my second will be emotion.
Mm.
And then I kind of go back to logic.
Mm-hmm.
So I would make a decision upon logic first. Sorry, I'm like reading the question here on my phone. I would read into the decision with logic, and then the second layer will be emotion, how it affects my emotion, or what would kind of like benefit, with air quotes around it, for my emotion, and then go back to logic. Like trying to figure out like a situation I had today. I can't really think about one, but yeah, I gotta say, I would start with like, yeah, start my decision with logic, go with my emotion as a second layer, and then I'll move forward with logic, and I kind of like make my decision from there.
That's good, because yeah, like I said, you do need both. Your emotions and your logic need to be involved in your decision making, because if it's just logic, like you said, you're not really, it kind of feels cold-blooded if you just make decisions based on logic, because that's what serial killers do. Not to go off the deep end with that, but usually there's kind of an intention there. But if it's emotions, you may say something or do something that you may or may not regret later on. On a I think I would probably say, because like I said, I'm a person who thinks things through.
You are.
I think things through all the way before actually doing anything. And it can be to my benefit and my detriment at times, because it can lead to action or it can lead to paralysis. And I've noticed those things happen for myself. And if I make decisions based off of just solely logic, for me it would lead to paralysis, because it would just mean like I would think through all the possible scenarios and I don't choose any of them, right? Because that's kind of what would happen if I based it all just on logic. But lately, I think since last year or even the year before that, I've started to learn my emotions and just learn how to feel things. Like at least internally feel things. And I think for me, I tend to make my final decisions based on logic, but I process through all my process through all the possibilities, all the possible outcomes, and all of my emotions, and making sure that I'm at peace with my emotions. You know what I'm saying? To make a logical decision. So that's probably the best way that I can answer, the decision-making question.
Nice. That was a good one.
Question number 7. How do you impress your date's parents or friends?
Ooh, I roll up with my dress pants tuck in, black belt, aloha shirt.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I do.
Oh, I gotta get the nice side fade. You know what I'm saying?
You gotta get the side fade. You gotta pump it up, pomade inside.
Oh man.
Are you ready to go? But yeah, like basically that's what I would dress. Like seriously, like if I wanted to impress my date, parents, the friends, that's the go-to outfit. Like I feel like that's like the staple. But for like myself wise, like as a individual, I think to impress, like I'm thinking back, instead of impressing them in a way like, oh, I can do this, or I have accolades, I have achievements. I think it's going out of your way to genuinely getting to know the parents and getting to know the friends. Because you want to know, like, why did your partner choose these type of friends? You want to get to know them and why, he hangs around with them. And as for parents, you get to know the parents and you get to know the background of how he or she grew up, and why she does certain things or why he does certain things, and how they were brought up during their childhood. So you kind of with the parents, you kind of get like a little glimpse of their childhood. Sometimes he or she wouldn't even like explain that part of their childhood because maybe something traumatic happened, or you don't want to remember that. But when you get to know the parents, and the parents are kind of like, oh, you're a cool guy, you're a cool girl, they're kind of like level with you, and when they explain that to you, it kind of like, I feel like when they share information about their daughter or their son, they're kind of like, essentially you're pretty much in there, you're breaking that barrier, and you're going into like details where your partner probably didn't even tell you yet about of what happened years ago, or this is why he or does this, because she probably, or your partner was probably burnt from someone else. And the friends, I feel like they're like in the same rank as the parents, because the friends, whatever happens to your partner before meeting you, the friends are in the same loop.
Right.
Like whatever happens to you, you automatically let your friends know, because you want to know, you want to get 2 cents from your friends and see what they think about your situation. And plus you get different perspectives. So I feel like the friends are in the same bracket as the parents. So to impress them, it's like very like low key to get to know them. And then when you're getting to know their friends and the parents, you are actually getting to know your partner who's sitting right beside you. So it's a very intertwine of information, about your person, right by you.
No, for sure. I think impressing your date's parents and friends, because you're, I would say, like, your partner's parents and their friends will probably give you somewhat different perspectives on your partner. You know what I'm saying? Because your partner will act, a certain way around their friends, and they act a certain way around their parents, right? I think, but as long as the character's intact, they'll probably get, similar,
Mm.
similar vibes, right? Um, I think the way to impress my date's parents or friends, I would say, like, like you said, genuinely get to know their friends or their parents, and develop actual relationships with them. But also, I would also add, treat them with respect. You know what I mean? And just, because then they would know, like, this person actually cares about my friend or my daughter, my son. You know what I mean? Like, those
Right,
kind of
right.
things. And, like, because and respect goes a long way. And because respect leads to trust, it um leads to knowing that, okay, this person has got my daughter's best interest in mind. This person's got my friend's best interest in mind. You know what I'm saying? Or, like, those kind of
Right.
things. And vice versa, right? So, because you're building relationships when you're dating someone, you're not. And if the further along you progress with that relationship, you're not just dating your partner, you're also in communion and in relationship with their friends and with their family.
Mm.
And because isn't that what marriage is? Like, marriage is, you're not just marrying your partner, you're marrying their family, you're integral part of their friend group. You know what I mean? Like, once you're in a relationship, you can't really be private anymore.
Right, right.
You know what I'm saying? So I think, like, obviously, you know, especially from, like, the parental side, like, they want to make sure, like, that they want to make sure that, oh, like, you're able to take care of them, and, emotionally, financially, mentally, spiritually, all that stuff, right? So I do think that, you know, um, I think but I think it ultimately comes down to respect. You know what I mean? Like, and making sure, like, your character is intact, and making sure that, you genuinely care about, your partner. And, the way you treat your partner is the same way you treat their parents, same way that you treat their
Right, right.
same way you treat their friends. You know what I mean, of course, like, there are different levels of affection, but you still treat them with the general kindness and respect that you do, with your partner. So,
Nice, nice, man.
yeah.
I
And
said it in the group chat, man. The next time we give out our numbers, we gotta link this podcast,
oh my
man. We gotta link
god.
this podcast.
Oh man, that
Yo,
was
we're
wild,
dropping
bro.
bangers after bangers.
Oh man, that is wild. And we have one more question for this episode. I just want to say thank you so much to everyone who's been watching and listening to this ML Backstage podcast. I saw that the last podcast episode we had on YouTube had over 400 views. I
I
had
saw
no
that.
I had no clue where in the world that came from. It felt really random to me, but I really appreciate everyone who's been watching, and, watching and stuff like that. So hopefully we can keep that going. And, I just wanted to say thank you, um on behalf of myself, and behalf of Holo, and behalf of Kainalu.
Yeah.
Thank you to everyone who's been watching and tuning in and listening, because it's actually doing really well on Spotify as well. So yeah.
Nice.
The last question that we have before we end this episode is, what would you change about yourself?
Ooh, okay. Yeah, you saved the best one for last. Boy. What
I mean,
would
there
you
were a lot of
change
things that I
about
would change
yourself?
about myself, but I mean,
Dang, like, are we talking about like physical
it can be anything.
or
It can be physical, mental, spiritual, you know what I'm saying, whatever.
uh, like change like things that would like help us in dating or
I think I view it as more of a general question, because in general it will also help. It will help when it comes to dating too, because it helps with being self-aware. It helps with, knowing where to grow and stuff like that. So I guess because I do have an answer for this, I can probably go first for this one. So the thing that I would change about myself is to be more open, and to be more trusting of people, and just not what the heck? Hold up.
what?
Hold up. Hold up real quick.
What the
Oh
heck?
my gosh.
You actually made it.
Kainalu is
Oh,
here. Oh my goodness. What
where
on
you
earth
at?
is
Where you
going
at?
on?
Can I do so?
What the heck?
Oh my goodness.
Oh man, this guy came
So
at the
for all this
right time.
for all the Spotify listeners out there, Kainalu Kamai just hopped on this podcast.
Is he at Sandy's?
Yeah, it is.
Oh my gosh. And this man is out here shirtless. He's out here, showing off his surfboard and everything. My goodness.
I'll just leave it like that for now.
Okay. Well, I guess my answer to that question is, my answer to my question is, like, I would just try to be more open and be more trusting of other people and seeing the good in other people. Because my natural inclinations are to assume the worst about people. And because I've gone through some stuff growing up, so it's kind of eroded my trust. And that's why, like, I don't have a whole lot of friends, but the friends that I do have, or the relationships I do have, I hold them close, because I know that I can trust them, and I know that I know that I can depend on them. And it's kind of the same thing for dating, right? I want to believe the best about the other person. I want to learn to see that, because it would help whenever that situation comes. I'll know that, okay, this person cares about me. This person really wants the best for me. Really, you know what I'm saying? And this person is really, really down for me like that. You know what I'm saying? So I would just, the one thing I would change about myself is to be more open, and to allow myself to be loved, to allow myself to, allow myself to receive other people's kindness and goodness, because even though humanity as a whole is kind of crapped out at times, there are genuinely kind people out there. And, I want to allow myself to receive that. That's probably the thing I would change about myself.
Ooh.
Nice. That was great.
Nalu, we're on the last question, by the way.
We're on the last question, bro.
They know who I am.
You know who I am.
They know who I am.
I'm dead. All right.
This guy, you will come in at the last moment.
Yeah, I would. Hey, look at the shirt.
Oh my gosh. All right. I'll let Holo answer. I'll let Holo answer that question.
That's a tough act to follow right there, Luna. Dang. I would say what I would change about myself is thinking about all these quote unquote relationships that I had before, kind of like friendships. I would rush them too quickly, to a point that these friendships that would blossom into like long-term friendships, kind of like, not kind of like, but I believe that it just fell apart because I rushed too much.
Mm-hmm.
So one thing I'll change about myself is having patience,
Fire.
having patience and waiting for, not necessarily waiting for someone to come in to my life, but waiting and working on what I need to work on to be well prepared to receive that person who is going to be walking to my life. And I can say on behalf of all my boys that we are in the process of being prepared to receive our significant other when we are ready. And I feel patience and waiting is what I really need to hone in and what I really need to focus right now. Is that all of us are in this season for a reason, and waiting is not necessarily a bad thing, and having patience and just doing what you got to do, focus on what we love the most, making music, being creative, and just honing in all your energy in what you love, and everything will fall into place. But for myself, I kind of like, from what I've learned, is rushing it. That is not the way to go. Like,
no, it's not the wave, bro.
I would always hear my mom say, "Oh, start by being friends. Start by being friends." Me, my dumb self would not listen to my mom. And then,
hey, mama's no best, bro.
Yeah.
From not listening to my mom, this happened. I would get rushed relationships that would fall apart in the end because there's no stability there to even have a relationship, because there's no friendship at first.
Right.
So that to have patience, waiting, and to start off as friends and have that foundation to get to know this person and to see, like, is this the person that I want to walk alongside in life with, that I can share my life with, and share values and beliefs that I didn't know 3 years ago, 2019 to be exact.
Right.
So from experience and all these past experience leading up to now, it's crazy how we can develop and our mindsets change in just a few years time. So if I was to ask this question to my 2019 self, it would probably be a whole different answer. But I gotta say, it has to be patience, waiting, and solid foundation starts off with friendship.
Oh, there we go. That's the one. Hey, let's take it slow. Let it all
Take it
flow.
slow, my brother.
Let it all flow, right?
My brother.
Let it all flow, right? So now, apparently we have a new contestant on the podcast here.
Okay.
Welcome, sir.
Kainalu Kamai here.
Yeah, sorry,
Welcome.
I'm in truck right now enjoying the
Yeah, you're living your best life right now.
Yeah.
I get it.
Okay, here I am.
I get it. I get it.
You
at the
want to do
beach.
you want to do these rapid fire questions? Rapid
Sure,
fire.
Here, let's give
Okay.
the audience a little bit about my style on this.
Oh, your
Oh, this
style.
guy. Oh my
Man.
god, bro. I'm gone. Okay.
I'm dead right now.
Okay. All right. I want to hear the CBS receipt answers though. So I'm gonna go rapid fire on all these questions and try to and I want to hear what your answers are. So
Okay.
we're gonna go from the top.
All right.
Kainalu Kamai, what are you looking for in a partner?
Well, to be honest, I want to find somebody that enjoys everything that I like. Doesn't have to be everything. It could be one
Yeah.
of the few things that I like, or doesn't have to be serious. Could just be interested or at least supportive. But most importantly for me, somebody that I can just enjoy the time with.
There we go. Love it. Love
It's
it.
simple.
Nice.
Yeah, you're
nice.
simple answer from a simple man. I love it. Which also means, being supportive of going to dawn patrol 4 o'clock in the morning before work. But anyway.
Yeah.
He's like,
Okay.
yeah, that's right. That's about right.
Question number 2. What do you value in a relationship?
I think this is really all right. Sorry, folks. I have not dated over a decade, but
Oh, I mean, neither of us have.
Yeah,
So
we made it a point to say that.
we made it a point.
the thing I value the most in a relationship, I think it's just having somebody to have time with you.
Mm.
That's probably one. I know I have a whole list of things
CVS receipt.
No, besides that. But it is somebody that you can spend time with, especially knowing me, I'm always all over the island or somewhere.
Yeah.
It would be fun to have time with somebody that can same thing I do. Otherwise, it's more like, okay, I'll see you next weekend or see you time when you have time to hang out with me. Otherwise, I'm just gonna be off
Right.
going on my adventures solo.
I love how simple your answers are, bro.
Yeah, I know, right?
I love how
It's-
simple your answers are, by the way. I love it. Genuinely.
So you, my boy.
Question number 3. What do you love/hate about dating?
Okay, hold on. Let me finish my granola bar before I think about this. All right. So, what do I love in relationships?
What do you love/hate about dating?
Well, the fun part about dating, you get to know somebody that you're not used to. It's your first time. You get to build with that person, especially if you start from scratch. You start from
Right.
scratch. You both can work out knowing your other half's personalities, traits, weaknesses, strengths, etc. That's a good thing. You get to build a friendship with them before you eventually cross into the dating sector.
Dangle.
As for the negative stuff, it really does depend on yourself, on how you project yourself towards that person, and also your other half, how he or she is projecting themselves to you. That would probably give you an indicator whether you both match or can tolerate, or either can tolerate each other. It's a really big, complex way of understanding, I guess, that person. I know it's a lot. That's kind of how I see it.
That makes a lot of sense. Honestly, it has a lot to do with understanding. Because my answer to the things I love about dating was the same as yours. I think let's go to question number 4. What do you wish others knew about your heart or the way you think?
Ooh, man. Oh, that's the only way how you would have to get to know me first. That's the only way it's gonna work. I mean,
What?
this is a tough one because I would have to have the person to meet me first, then they can understand how I
Yeah,
see
that's a good point.
from my point of view of dating, the dating perspective. Because I'm all for is, for example, if I'm dating somebody, I'm gonna be all for her, respectfully, everything, all the way, 100 miles, 100%. As long as she can respect my wants and needs, and then I'll do the same for her.
Yeah.
Something like that. Somewhere on that line.
I'm loving these rapid fire answers, by the way.
It's rapid fire. Yeah,
I'm loving it so much. Question number, because we're on question number 5 already with you. Do you tend to make decisions based on logic or your emotions?
Oh, that's a good question. I think I do a bit of both of it, but realistically, it's more based on crossing the line of emotion, but still in logic. I guess it depends. But if we're talking about relationships, it's probably going to be more towards emotion wise, because I'm very forgiving and sympathetic for people. I'm not crazy or mean, so I can always understand where the other person is coming from, and I don't think it could ever be mean to any point at all.
Yeah, because I remember, I think that's funny you say that, because I remember the last time you're actually in a relationship, your ex cheated on you or something, right? Or something weird happened.
Yes, if you're talking about way back in 10th grade, yes, something like that.
Yeah, like when I first met you.
Yeah,
it was something wild like that, but and you're just like, I'm gonna just move. It happens.
well, sometimes
told
part
you.
of life is fun and just grow.
Right. Dang, bro. Oh, I think we might be able to get through this pretty quickly. Question number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Okay.
How do you impress your date's parents or friends?
Wow, this is easy. You just got to be yourself. That's it. You generally have to be yourself. Just be respectful.
Yeah.
Project far in a professional manner, like as if that was your family or your relatives or friends.
Right.
You don't want to have a bad impression on the first time you meet somebody. That's gonna give them the indicator that, oh, who is this person? This is not somebody I want my daughter to date. For example, my first girlfriend, I had the best impression. Her family loved me like to death. That's actually pretty good. If their whole family likes you, then you're already set.
Right.
Yeah, that's this is
basically what we said.
Yeah, pretty much.
That also later along down the line, when you have a good background of stuff that you did in your past or what you do now, that's going to help out.
Yeah, no, for sure. Dang, we're already on the last question with you.
Hey, there we go.
We're on the last question with you. That's so the last question for you, Kainalu, is what would you change about yourself?
What would I change about myself? Wow. Since we're talking about the dating aspect here, I think I just got to step outside the box and just try to meet more people and connect more. Otherwise, it's kind of hard because I'm still in Hawaii. It's to be honest, there's really nobody here for me.
Oh, no.
That's it. I have
no,
to.
I mean, that's yeah, for sure. That's also kind of why we're out of the island now.
Yeah,
that's where we're out of there. But you know, like,
it's all good though.
It's all good. You know what I mean? Like you bring about new perspectives and new, you know, and new, new types of people. You know,
yeah.
So, thank you to everyone who's been who listened to or watched the entire episode, and thank you to Kainalu for coming in and answering these questions in a really rapid fire fashion.
And that was not the duration of the period, guys. Sorry.
No, it's all good. You answered the questions.
Yeah.
Thank you so much to everyone who's been watching and listening. I see the numbers grow on Spotify and YouTube and stuff. As I mentioned earlier, the last episode has over 400 views on YouTube, which is pretty crazy to me. And it's doing really great on Spotify too. And it's one of the best listened episodes on Spotify, I believe. So thank you to everyone who's been watching and listening. You can follow me on Instagram at Luna B Joshua. You can follow the Cosmic Prince Mars Luna on Spotify and Apple Music. You search Mars Luna there. You can follow him on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at It's Mars Luna. And you can follow the website at music website at itsmarsluna.com. And I think, and just for the sake of time, I'll link everybody else's one. You can follow Kainalu at Nalumun Photography on Instagram, NALUMON Photography on Instagram. Or if you're into K-pop stuff, you can follow him on TikTok and Twitter at Hawaiian Oppa, Hawaiian OPPA, and Hawaiian _OPPA respectfully on TikTok, I believe. Okay. And you can follow Holokahiki Toves on YouTube at HOLOKAHIKI Toves. And because you won't be able to find him anywhere else because he's too cool for social media. But anyway, thank you all so much again. This was a really fun episode. And I hope you all enjoy it. And stay tuned for next month's episode where we have a special guest, or I'm going to try to get a special guest on for this next month's episode. So take care. Okay. Hope you all enjoy the episode and have a great rest of your month or week, whatever it is. So
shoots.
The Cosmic Casanova loved all of these answers. I wasn't expecting Kainalu to come through at the end and answer all the questions in such a rapid-fire fashion. I am blown away, Ethan.
Well, it sure means that I won't be able to find love in the club, huh?
Nope. Anyway, I hope you all enjoyed this episode of the ML Backstage podcast. If you liked what you heard, follow us on Spotify and Anchor, and subscribe to us on Apple and YouTube at ML Backstage. You can follow me on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and TikTok at It's Mars Luna. You can find all my music on Spotify and Apple Music and on my website at itsmarsluna.com. Thank you all for listening and hanging out with us. Hope you're all enjoying this episode, and thank you so much for the love on the last episode. Stay tuned for the next one as I got new music on the way, and I'm going to get another special guest for this upcoming episode.